So coming back to San Diego and asking guys to try to join me on track bikes to do this ride, we had to figure out a way to fundraise as a team and help each other out. And what we knew best as fixed gear riders in town was to throw alley cat races. Now an alley cat race can be set up various ways, but in its most simple form, as I understand it, an alley cat race is a brakeless fixed gear street race with several checkpoints that you can run either in the order they're given to you or in any order you want. So it's whoever knows their way around the city best. Stop signs and red lights do not apply in these races whatsoever. Which adds to the difficulty of the ride and the race, because you have to be an obscenely confident rider, especially with traffic. And on the ALC camp, I never ever would condone running a light or a stop sign ever, but I have seen riders who seem to be able to do it very, very well without putting other automobiles or themselves in danger. So kind of seeing a magic line, so to speak.
Ride with the flow.
Ride with the flow, yeah. Just be in where you need to be to not be dead. So we threw several alley cats and fundraisers throughout the year, but our big grand finale party / alley cat was held at a shop called Retrogression in San Diego. It specializes only in our bicycles. That's all they work on. That's all they sell. They only do fixed gear and track bikes. It's a very cool shop. And with this race being our final fundraiser, we had built so much community momentum over all the other fundraisers we had done. We wanted this one to be really, really special. So myself and Lucas and Dave Scrod, who owns the shop, came up with this idea because we love metal. Let's do this a hell and back out. So the way we organized this particular race was, racers were told that they would need 3 items to complete this race, or to participate in the race. They would need a crayon, a piece of paper, and a towel. And then we let them know the name of the race. And within 4 days, rumors were flying all over the bicycle community about what might be happening on this race. People thought we were going to send them up and down the worst hills in town. People thought we were going to put them through the worst, most dangerous traffic, so forth and so on.
How many people usually get?
We usually get about 20 racers, and then we had actually 19 signed up racers on this last race, and then we had an additional about 130 people come to the party and throwing money down and supporting. We got kegs donated by local craft breweries. We had a taco stand going all day. Yeah. We gave, and then we got local companies like Leader Bikes, North Park Bike Shop, dozens and dozens of others to throw up prizes for raffles and for the race. We had a frame that you could buy for $1 raffle. We had a brand new $500 frame. And somebody did. And then for the race, Chrome Industries out of San Francisco put forth the coveted jersey, which in the alley cat race world, this is the grandest prize you can win. It's just a jersey, but it's more valuable than any frame or complete bike you could win out of the race.
Yeah, it shows you won it.
Exactly. It's a jersey that you cannot buy. Chrome gives out, I think, 4 or 5 of them a year total.
They're pretty new. It's relatively new.
It's been going for 2 or 3 years now, but I think they only give out a few a year to certain races. And Dave Scrod of Retrogression was nice enough to call his friends at Cretins and say, these boys are doing a LifeCycle ride, and explain the charity and the fact that we were going to do this SF to LA on fixed gear bicycle, and they were all of that. They gladly sent it down along with hundreds of dollars in other prizes and bags and all that.
And you guys are off about that stuff off, right?
Yeah, every single bit of it.
Some watches as well, doing several awesome items like a watch, headphones, different cases for your iPhone. Yeah, it was an awesome event. We had a lot of support from the community. People from even local businesses like Coffee and Tea Collective, Jim Standard, came down the street and just hung out. We were doing our raffle. People that didn't even race, helped fundraise a lot of money through either donations or through buying tacos. Proceeds from that went to our ALC. So it was a great moment, I would say, for the San Diego bicycle community, and we're just coming together to support this event.
It's beautiful. Nobody took money back off anything that they paid for to make the event happen. Nobody asked for or submitted a receipt. It was just all give and all love, and I think that's what really started turning the wheels in these guys' head.
Oh, that's cool. That's pretty neat. Wow. How much did you raise?
We raised $1,452 at that event, which in our community and the people that attended, that was very huge for us.
No, that's a big fundraiser.
Yeah, we did.
That's a huge fundraiser.
Yeah, we had a great time. No doctors or lawyers present.
So tell me about the race.
Okay, the race itself. Here was how the race was to go down, or did go down. Once each racer arrived, we had them register for the race, sign up, pay their $10 entry fee. And then we had them wait about 30 or 40 minutes, and then we congregated. And we handed them we handed them their manifest. On the manifest, there were 3 locations. Not even 3 addresses. 3 locations, which makes it even trickier. You gotta know where you're going. The first checkpoint was a place called Pioneer Park in San Diego. It's the second oldest cemetery in San Diego proper. It's a direct view line up the hill from our Old Town Cemetery. The Old Town Cemetery was used for indigents and what they used it for poorer people or what have you. The one up top is for all the rich Irish Catholics that settled San Diego. Yeah, exactly. It was and all the priests and everything else. In the 70s, somehow somebody convinced the city to remove all the headstones out of the park with the exception of 30 or 40 very prominent ones, which they moved to the back of the park against some of the original wall from 1860. But the rest of the park is a very expansive park. Kids play the swing sets, but every foot there's a depression in the ground. I mean, there's thousands of corpses in this park, so it's kind of creepy. So we had the riders take their piece of paper and their crayon, go down to the graveyard, and they had to do what was called the Claim of Soul checkpoint. They had to do a grave rubbing of one of the headstones. Get their manifest signed off by the checkpoint worker. Then they had to go to a very, very old church in downtown San Diego, a big cathedral. Had to go down there where we had other checkpoint workers waiting with a bowl of fake blood, where they had to dip their fingers in, put a pentagram on their grave rubbing, and then draw an upside-down cross somewhere on themselves. So now they're covered in blood and they have a gravestone rubbing with them. Then we sent them to a building right adjacent to the oldest mission in San Diego. It's a little 30 square foot, 2-story building with one door, no windows, nobody in.
More of a tower.
Yeah, nobody knows what it's for or what it was used for. It's very curious. It's just a weird building. And you walk up this stairwell that spirals up to the top, and there's a huge mosaic of a pentagram right there. So we set up several checkpoint workers who had mirrors, white and black makeup, and they had to put on what's called corpse paint, which is something in the black metal music industry. It's guys that have, looks like skeleton faces, dripping black makeup. So the riders had to do that. Now, not only were they judged on where they placed in the race, but they were also judged on their makeup for the ride, how well it came out once they got there. So they couldn't just run up there and smush it on and then ride away. They had to take a mirror and make it look good. And then they came back. Total was about a 15-mile race. I think our fastest rider completed that in 41 minutes. Somewhere in there. Very scary, considering all the traffic and the lights.
Yeah, the fast.
Very quickly.
And still had a 5-minute lead.
This racer has actually won 2 chrome coveted jerseys 2 years in a row. He's kind of the untouchable guy in San Diego.
So Chrome only does some big events, and you guys had a big event.
Yeah, and it was very, we're not, none of us are sponsored riders, none of us are professional riders, or at least professionally competitive. We ride as hard as we can, and we do our best, but yeah, these guys, to have Chrome and Leader and all these huge companies come down, unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. And that's when it was one of those things we were like, the love bubble's here now. It's expanded into my community. It was really, really good.
That's pretty neat. You had 8 guys on your team?
We have Team Cretins is officially 5, and then there were 3 other riders from up in San Diego who joined us.
Dos Llantas, as well as an individual from another group in North Carolina called the SP Pros. And we all know each other through what's called Tuesday night races, which is every Tuesday night they'll have races at the Velodrome in Morgan Field in San Diego. And so we'd all sit together at the bleachers and do the drink beverages, and they have a tamale cart. So we know each other from socializing every Tuesday, and then after we'll do a bike ride through the city normally, and have another social gathering with usually the same people, not always fixed gears, but usually a lot of people in the fixed gear community are friendly in the fixed gear community. So So we're a very tight-knit group, and it was very cool to be able to bring down so many close friends on this ride, and still be able to make a bunch of new friends as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's been very, very, very warm and nice being here. Honestly, it feels like I actually told him I have to pinch myself. I'm in like a bike dream for about a week. You know, what day is it? Honestly, you know, I just wake up and ride, and I fall asleep and do the same thing over and over again until I, you know, physically exhausted, but somehow I find the energy the next day to wake up and go harder than yesterday, you know? Just those
How fast do you think you got coming down Gaviota?
I've never gone that fast before on the electric scale.
I hit 38.9.
I feel like
my ratio chart means I was spinning about 180 RPM.
Good God.
Yeah, it was pretty. Today was the first day I was scared.
Yeah, literally. I was thinking to describe it. I was literally like, not down.
If something goes wrong, I'm really screwed.
I ride my bike quite a bit, and I've done quite a few downhills, but that was the king right now for sure. In terms of just general length and sheer steep at 10% grade for so long. I thought halfway to LA was good. That when I'm halfway to LA, that was a great downhill as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that hill would have been a lot more fun on the road bike too. It's like a lot more.
Or a touring bike.
Yeah, that's like a 50, 60 mile an hour hill.
Get some good weight on that thing, and nice touring bike.
Roll down.
Yeah.
What sort of training did you guys do?
You know, we tried in vain, I think, almost to train as a team this year. We got a few good training rides in as a team, but everybody's schedules are really, really difficult, and some of us had jobs that were kind of, you know, on-call nature, and they're just going to work whenever they need us to come into work, and so it was really difficult. We trained, I think, only twice as a complete team, and several times with individual members.
And we all ride collectively individually alone.
Yeah.
For example, some of us don't have cars, so they commute.
By boat.
Exactly. By the same bike they did this ride on, even. So
the commitment I made to myself when I got my track card, which was only about 10 months ago now, when I first started riding fixed gear, was to do 200 miles a week until we were 27.
Do that?
I failed in the last couple weeks because I was building another bike, and
It's still pretty good.
yeah, for about 8 months I was hitting that, and sometimes over. And I think that's what saved my buns on this ride.
And San Diego's got some hills too, doesn't it?
Very much so. People don't think it does, but yeah, we had some really nasty hills.
we got Torrey Pine, which isn't even that steep, but
Palomar Mountain.
well, Palomar's a little farther inland, but even in like North County or Scripps Highway, like that's a really good Scripps Highway. I would put on call with maybe what was it on Quadbuster, but like Evil Twins. It's
Called a purple monster. It's like Team San Diego's final training ride is to get up that hill.
Oh, really?
That's their their grand finale. Can we all get up this hill? We'll be all right for this one.
Did you ever ride with those guys?
I have done several rides with them. I love Team San Diego to death. They are my favorite. The starting Team Cretins was never I don't want to be on Team San Diego. It was never like that or about that. It was just more these you gravitate towards the people who want to ride the kind of bikes you want to ride and want to ride the way you ride and how hard you ride and the Team San Diego training rides, because they're official LifeCycle training rides, they run at different paces, slower pace a little bit. And for us, at least for me, my big thing this year, I take the LifeCycle like really personally. At this point, it's absolutely the single most important thing in my life. It means more to me than almost anything. Except maybe my girlfriend. I like her a little bit more. But this ride is huge in my life. I couldn't imagine being without it at this point. So I have this thing where I like to kind of do my ride the way I want to do my ride. If you're holding a 20 mile an hour pace, you're holding a 14 mile an hour pace, you're going to find yourself pretty far away from them at some point. So that was kind of the thing I'd go out with these guys, and we can jam that. And we can do it together, and we can train our legs together.
That's pretty good.
We just got to that point where it's like, we got to do our legs. We love everybody, we love Bubble Real. We got to do what's best for our training. Especially trying on the bikes we were trying it on. We had a little more, we felt anyways that we had more to ramp up for in training last week. We need to hit a little harder just to be able to complete this on those bicycles.
So what did you think about the climbs, like Quadbuster?
They were so much easier than I thought they were going to be. Miles.
Yeah.
It's just no coasting.
Yeah, that's right. You're just spinning the whole time.
Every inch of mile we pedal down. It's ridiculous.
I remember last year riding through and like some of the kilometer roads with a lot of bumps in them, and just picking up off my seat, planting my feet, and coasting over them to be comfortable. Now that I've injured ankle this year, and every little bump you have to take it, and your body takes it because you cannot relax. So that's the only thing with just some of the miles. Yeah, surprisingly, we've all been doing much better than I thought we were going to.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, rolling momentum.
Rolling momentum. That was good.
Go down the stairs.
I'm sure I got that. That's cool. So, I mean, the gear that you guys use, it's not specific to the fixie world, is it?
The gearing?
The gear that you use, handlebars and
some of it, yes.
Some of it is?
Some, like our drivetrain is specifically fixed to like our wheels.
Sure.
All of our wheels are hand-built. Our hand-built, I should say.
So my handlebars, my stem, my seat post, and my seat are all road components. I'm using, Ritchie Carbon Euro compact trucks.
But that's how it works anyway.
This is a long ride.
Racing on the track, and even then a lot of people racing on the track still use those components. It's the drivetrain that really distinguishes the difference.
Who are the makers?
Well, he rides a Trinelli. I ride a Mossy. There's another Trinelli on this ride. There's a Leader on this ride. And Leader was kind enough to actually make a Cleveland frame for our team.
Really?
Yeah. And they're releasing it next year.
No, just a few months.
Oh, this is 2 months. Wow, yeah. So in a few months,
cool.
this will be the Leader Cleveland frame available for purchase.
Wow.
In our custom team colors.
Only $199. It's super cool.
That's pretty good.
Really nice truck back there.
Yeah. So you mostly track, a lot of what you do for training.
We only train on track bikes. I mean, I rode my mountain bike a little bit, just for cross training for recovery days, but I specifically trained for this ride on my track bike. But as a group, we trained on the track bike. So
you didn't start out on a track bike.
We did.
Did you really?
All of us. We're kind of withdrawn into the world of cycling through fixed gears. Essentially, fixed gears kind of like open that window of like what is possible to be done on a bike, and then after that, I really transcended onto building and growing and even getting gear, where we're now like taking these bikes that are meant to be ridden in the city, or even on the track and doing like cross country. I should say San Francisco to LA, 545 miles. This is the equivalent of walking on the moon, basically. On the fixed gear race. That's the only way I can describe it. It would be impossible.
It's awkward. It's definitely awkward.
But it had to be done. That's the main thing. Everyone's like, oh man, I got that bike at home. I took this one. I'm like, yeah man, but honestly, this bike, this ride. And in fact, they were talking last night about how our suffering, essentially, is a tribute.
Everyone's suffering. This ride,
Everybody suffers.
we've been getting a lot of compliments and a lot of praise and well-wishing from other riders because they did the bikes wrong. The way I look at it is this ride is equally as hard for us as it is for anybody else. I mean, let's be realistic. This is the environment that we felt most natural in because of the bikes we ride. That doesn't mean that we're having a harder time than any other person, any other cyclist on this ride. Absolutely not. No.